Today I'm designing a Marvel-inspired movie poster, starring none other than myself as the lead role. Now, typically, when a movie poster is made, there's already a whole film behind it. But in this case, there's no script, no cast, no studio. So naturally, I hit up a few A-list actors and flew to Hollywood to get things rolling. Okay, obviously that didn't happen. So instead, we'll be designing this poster entirely from scratch. Concept first, and then visuals. And of course, powered by my flawless superhero posing abilities. Oh boy.
Step 1.
Inspiration. Boring stuff, I know, so we're going to do it in 20 seconds. Before we start designing, I need to figure out what actually makes a Marvel movie poster look like a Marvel movie poster. What instantly jumps out is the bold, vibrant use of colour, often laid over a cosmic, spacey backdrop. We've also got this classic floating head format where every major character is crammed into the frame in various dramatic sizes and positions, which is a typical poster we see plastered throughout all of Hollywood. And of course we have the movie logo, usually a bold, standout typographic design, which would have been the perfect segue into the first stage of design. However, I first need to give you guys a quick rundown on our non-existent but totally should be movie concept.
An alien planet whose skin is blue has been taken over by a brutal enemy species. All hope is lost until a small group rises up to fight back.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That was the most generic load of and why is it so important to have blue skin? I've just always thought the blue aliens in the Marvel universe, especially the Kree, just look insanely cool with that icy blue skin tone, and therefore I've just jumped at the opportunity to become one of them today.
Step 2.
Designing the most epic cinematic logo. The movie title will be Fallen Rain, for no other reason than it just sounds and looks quite cool. Starting in Adobe Illustrator, this cut in the A immediately makes it look more sci-fi. Of course, gotta make sure it's lined up, and then let's just copy this over. Boom, looking a little bit more cinematic. Now, what if we bring down this point and then do the same here, and then perhaps make this a little point too? Perfect. Taking our logo, we're going to drop it straight into Photoshop, where I'm going to apply this metal texture, throw on some color, and stack up a whole bunch of layer effects to really achieve a bold cinematic logo. It really is amazing what you can achieve with just using layer styles. I was definitely inspired by the Marvel Avengers Endgame logo when choosing my colors, aiming for that sort of pinky purple vibrant color palette. And of course, we just got to throw in a cheeky little Marvel logo. And so here is the logo for our soon-to-be movie poster. Though I might slightly tweak the colors and vibrancy later once we have the final design together.
Step 3.
Creating our composition. Like any self-respecting floating head poster, I'll be smack bang in the center, striking the most threatening and cool superhero pose. On one side of me will be my love interest, Ana de Armas, for her incredible acting abilities. Of course. And on the other, our evil villain and a little comedic alien side character. These may require some AI assistance just because I have quite a strong vision in mind. And finally, for the background, we're taking the action to space, inspired by the cosmic setting in a few of these Marvel posters.
Step 4.
Photographing my superhero pose. However, before I could start, I realized that beards don't exactly scream sleek alien warrior, so it had to go. Freshly shaven and reborn, I set up my green screen, dialed in the lighting, and got to work. Damn, I'm a natural. After a shameful 150 photos of me sucking in my cheeks for that Hollywood jawline, I ended up with this image. I was really pleased with the cinematic lighting, and I thought just for a second, this guy could possibly potentially save a planet or two.
Step 5.
Transforming myself into an intergalactic space alien warrior. Of course, starting with the very much needed blue skin. I covered all of my non-blue skin blue. I did this by using the hue and saturation as a layer mask. After looking like Violet from Willy Wonka, I also darkened my hair a little just to look a bit more cool and spacey. Now, what's a Marvel alien without some daring coloured eyes? I also knew that a black t-shirt would be easier to work from, so I removed the white. I then started applying all different objects and patterns such as animal prints and lightning bolts to create an alien skin texture. Followed by making my t-shirt just that little bit more interesting too. Now, for the next few hours, I went a little crazy trying on all different superhero costumes, mainly consisting of this fire sort of ember stone mythical ring thing. I scrapped everything else, just leaving myself in some cargo trousers and a mysterious yellow liquid vial. This is when I realised the perfect costume already existed. Black Noir from The Boys basically smashed the look that I'd been chasing this whole time. With a few tweaks and a little bit of alignment, I was ready to suit up. However, before slipping into the costume, I may have potentially enhanced my arms just a little bit with Liquify. Just enough to look like I stood even the slightest chance of saving the galaxy. I then cropped out my arms and placed them onto our new body. Now all I had to do was just overlay the costume arms over mine, and then with a little bit of blending, it all came together quite nicely. Now, just a few finishing touches like taking the strap off this bag to holster up the weapon on my back.
Step 6.
Shading and lighting. So you might have been wondering, what's the deal with this ring? Well, this is my superhero weapon of choice. The idea is that it is enchanted, forged in the dying heart of a star, and whoever wears it takes on this immense power of super strength, and therefore it just had to be glowing. This first version was definitely more of a rough draft just to get the vibe for when I'd actually make it properly shine in the final poster. Oh, and I also figured that my hair would look way cooler if it was this blue-black to match the blue alien skin tone. Now it was time to really shine that light on my face. And so I used some exposure layer masks, which naturally would also create some shadows, and therefore applied these both simultaneously throughout. Now, while I carry on applying these effects to myself, I just want to quickly say, oh my god, my channel has blew up. You guys are literally changing my life with every little bit of engagement on these videos, and it means the world. Whether it's a comment or a like, I'm so grateful, and I just want to say a huge thank you. At the time of recording this, my previous video got 200,000 views in the space of 8 days, which is just mental. So genuinely, thank you so much. And so here is myself suited and booted as a badass superhero, ready for even more effects in the poster design.
Step 7.
Designing the side characters. Now, for my love interest character, I made a selection around Ana de Armas' head so I could then create my own costume for her. Of course, we needed to add the bright and striking yellow eyes too. Now it was time for that blue skin tone, copying over the same pattern and overlays which was previously on myself. I then changed the colour of their hair and added this sort of dip dye, and I'm so glad that I did this because I really think it's made her look 10 times more like an actual Marvel Universe character, sort of like Gamora if she was blue. I then added these facial marks which I put on myself before because I just think they look cool. So finally, she just needed a weapon, in which I chose to give her a sword and a shield. A quick puppet warp on the pose, and she's finished. And so here she is. I really like her design. I think she fits so much into the whole Marvel modern day universe and is going to look so good in our final composition. Now for the next couple of characters, we're just going to quickly skim through them. So I generated this huge muscular bloke in Mid-Journey and then took him into Photoshop for some effects. First of all, changing his skin colour to this almost metallic tone, and then took to Envato elements where I found this really cool icy glacier rock texture, in which I applied over him, giving him this alien look, and of course removing the areas that I didn't mean to cover. Then some finishing touches like this tribal war paint, glowing evil icy blue eyes, and a subtle blue vein on his head to show some anger. And there we have it, our evil main character is complete. Definitely a bit of a Marvel comic book looking sort of style design, but I think he looks cool. And for our little alien side character, I just typed this prompt into Mid-Journey and then decided that this little guy will do the trick.
Step 8.
Designing the final poster. The main design was going to be focused around this portal, therefore I blended myself into the ring to create this illusion that I was standing inside. I went with this icy alien planet backdrop to be the other side of the portal, and then also included this explosion to show that they're at war. Next, I positioned the female character and gave her an outer glow to match the background. However, we'll refine this in just a sec. Adding my next two characters, I built up the composition and then blended them into the smoky background with a soft eraser. I added some layer effects like a coloured inner shadow to help the characters feel absorbed into the blue smoke. In order to separate each character, I added a cloud behind everyone, as this would just give a more solid backdrop once coloured. Then came our Fallen Rain logo, which I positioned loosely in place for now. Next was the final ring lighting effects, in which I created highlights on all different objects and areas of my face, just to create that glow from the ring. This part of the process really brought the poster to life, just giving everything this lovely highlight and creating this visual 3D interest. Now, this was a game changer moment when I decided to incorporate a pink into the poster, swapping the yellow glow for a bright pink which just really popped against that electric blue background. At this point, I also decided that I just didn't really care for this alien character, and so I swapped him out for this guy, Alien Mark II, who's definitely just a bit better. In order to bring through the lighting, I added a black overlay and erased around the lighting sources and any key areas I wanted to highlight. A quick pink highlight on the characters to reflect the ring's glow, some finishing background elements like lasers and stars, and our final poster design is complete. Really pleased in terms of the final design. I think I've done really well in terms of creating a Marvel-inspired poster. Definitely achieved that bright pop of colour, a spacey background, and of course the cliche floating head formation. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I absolutely had a blast designing this poster, so if you guys want more, then let me know in the comments what genre you'd like, whether it's horror, adventure, or maybe even a zombie apocalypse. If you guys enjoyed this, then check out my previous video where I turned kids' movie posters into horror. Today, I am ruining your childhood. I've taken 3 of your beloved classic kids' films and reimagined them as chilling horror posters. Starting with Luca, a charming tale of friendship, scooters, and sea monsters. But what if your sea monsters weren't quite as friendly?